Sunday, December 18th, the craziest jiu-jitsu tournament of all time. Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, Team Duel, 10th Planet, B Team, Team Alpha Male, and Team Mexico. Generally, a UFC fighter cannot compete with a pure jiu-jitsu fighter in pure jiu-jitsu sport. And vice versa. A pure jiu-jitsu fighter cannot compete in MMA against a UFC fighter. They get killed, generally. But in between UFC and sub-only is combat jiu-jitsu. We're meeting in the middle. My favorite format of jiu-jitsu is combat jiu-jitsu rules. That's why I'm doing it. I put together this format because I personally think it's the most entertaining form of jiu-jitsu. 16-man tournaments, it's just perfect. That comes from UFC too. It comes from Abu Dhabi. 16-man tournaments, they're the best. But I also love team duels. So it just made sense. For me and Victor, we're like, what could we do? What's the ultimate thing we could do? Is do combat jiu-jitsu, team duels. That's why we're doing this, because we want to do the most entertaining form of jiu-jitsu possible. And this might be it. Combining combat jiu-jitsu with a team duel format, man. The team duel format is this. There's 4 teams, 4-team tournament. Each team has 5 competitors. They submit their names, and then it lines up with the other 5 opposing members. If there's a draw after 8 minutes, both competitors are eliminated. And we go to the second player on both teams. If there's another draw there, they're both eliminated. If the third one's a draw, they're all eliminated. If there is a tie at the end, meaning each team was left with no competitors, then we go to an EBI-OT format. And we do it a little bit different. We have 1 EBI-OT battle, 1 round minimum, 3 rounds maximum, just like regular EBI-OT. To eliminate teams coming in with some EBI-OT master, and then they stall everybody out and drag it into OT just so that they could win in OT. So I wanted to eliminate that. And the way I did it was, you don't get to pick your own EBI-OT competitor. Your opposing team picks your EBI competitor. If the first match goes and this guy wins, one guy wins, he stays until he gets loses or it's a draw. So that's how you win. You got to get some submissions. You got to eliminate as many of your opposing teammates as possible. On Team 10th Planet, rubber guard master. This guy's always in the conversation for greatest rubber guard ever, man. Ben Eddie has gotten him dual teams and EBI, combat jiu-jitsu, dead orchards. His rubber guard is as insane as you can get. He's also a former bantamweight combat jiu-jitsu champion. He beat Nick Hohenstein at EBI 17 for that belt. Also another rubber guard master, pulling off rubber guard all over EBI and combat jiu-jitsu, is Nathan Orchard. He's a legend in the game. He's down for combat jiu-jitsu, sub only. He's always ready to go. And representing 10 Planet Orange, Mike John. You've seen him in 10 PQ plenty of times, got to the finals. He's got one of the best guillotines in the entire system. Also, the winner of 10 PQ, Sam Hardy, black belt under Nathan Orchard. This guy crushed in the qualifier. He's also had a taste of combat jiu-jitsu a couple years ago, but he's on another level right now. His performance in 10 PQ was just pure domination. Combat jiu-jitsu savage, Derek Rayfield, was on the team, but he got injured, so we threw in our 6th man, Jordan Worth, who plays second at 10 PQ. Jordan Worth, man, he's got an insane guard, insane flexibility, buggy chokes, leg locks. He's ready to go. It's time for Jordan Worth to step up on the big stage and see where he's at. The day after I found out Derek was out and we had to move Jordan in, I just decided, you know, let's give Team Lou from 10th Planet Pasadena and Brian Geiger from 10th Planet Riverside, I just made them do a wrestle-off the next day after 10 PQ for that spot as the 6th man on the team. The purpose of the 6th man is as a backup. You know, in this sport, people get hurt all the time in training. So that 6th man is not only a backup while the competition is going on. As if someone gets hurt, someone gets cut, nose gets broken, orbital gets broken or something, they gotta pull them out. During the tournament, we throw them in. But also, having a 6th man during the training camp is huge too, because during training camp, we're losing people all the time. We've lost a couple guys in 10th Planet. Team Alpha Males lost a few guys, they had to shuffle their guys in. So if you always have a 6th man ready to go, someone gets hurt, that guy was already training. So you just move him in, and now we need another 6th man. And then you're always looking for that 6th man, always ready for the backup. I mean, on paper, the #1 seed has got to be B team. I mean, you got Ethan Creliston, who is the lightweight combat jiu-jitsu champion. So he won it in dominating fashion. He's got insane passing. His mount, his back control, and his rear naked chokes are about as high level as you can get. He won Jiu-Jitsu Overtime, which was the event that was just 100% EBIOT. It was a rear naked choke shootout. Him and Keith Krikorian ended up in the finals, and it was a close one. Also on their team, they got a Elias Anderson, who's a combat jiu-jitsu veteran. He was in the tournament with Ethan Creliston, the one he won, and he got highlight reel knockout. Still viral. It's one of the most brutal KOs in combat jiu-jitsu history. Is pretty phenomenal. He's one of the best grapplers at 45 and, you know, at 55. In those two divisions, he's definitely one of the top fighters in the world. Also on the team is Kieran Kitchuk, who's a rising star, who's been doing a lot of damage on the local scene, and he was also in Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, the lightweights, and he lost against Ethan Creliston, but he's considered one of the top grapplers in the world. He won Emerald City Championship. Very well-rounded, great leg locks, great defense, great back takes. He's gonna be a problem. Also on B team is Fabian Ramirez and Cammy Donnelly. And if they're anything like what's coming out of B team on a regular basis, I'm sure they're bringing a lot of heat. And on Team Alpha Male, you know Urijah Faber is gonna bring the UFC heat. He's bringing 2 UFC fighters, one who's currently ranked, Song Yadong, and UFC veteran Michinori Tanaka. Urijah thinks his most technical fighter at 55 is a guy named Kaleo Romero. He's gonna be joining the team as well. Also on Team Alpha Male, Trent Ebarb, who's a combat jiu-jitsu veteran. He's got experience and he's a beast and was bringing the heat to combat jiu-jitsu star Nathan Orchard. Team Alpha Male is also bringing newcomer Isaac Thompson, and their 6th man is Eric Cortez. Mexicans are so into combat jiu-jitsu. We've done 2 combat jiu-jitsu opens so far, and we did one about a month ago with 250 competitors. Imagine that, a regular jiu-jitsu tournament, 6 matches going on at the same time, but it's combat jiu-jitsu. It's like MMA fights going on all over the place. It was insane. But Mexico, man, they love it, man. They love, we had white belt girls doing combat jiu-jitsu. We had Everybody was doing it. It was crazy. Combat Jiu-Jitsu was so hot in Mexico, we had to have a Team Mexico and use a couple of these Mexican champions that we developed through CJJ Open tournaments. On Team Mexico, the shining star of the team is Mauricio Gomez, who won the Combat Jiu-Jitsu qualifier we had in El Paso, Texas. He won in dominating fashion, finished everybody, looked spectacular. I expect big things from him. Also on Team Mexico, UFC veteran and Combat Jiu-Jitsu Open veteran, Tito Rubio. Team Mexico's bringing on 2 CJJ national champions from Mexico, Eric Souza, Juan Obregon, Mike Diaz, and their 6th man, Chuy Magana. UFC Hall of Famer Urijah Faber is making his Combat Jiu-Jitsu debut against Combat Jiu-Jitsu World Bantamweight Champion Elias Anderson. This fight was supposed to happen last year. Didn't happen, but it's finally happening now. This is a classic meet in the middle matchup. We got UFC legend Urijah Faber meeting in the middle right there. Combat Jiu-Jitsu is in the middle between sub-only and UFC, Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Will adding strikes to this grappling match, will that make a difference? Will Urijah be able to utilize his classic ground and pound against Elias Anderson in the Combat Jiu-Jitsu format? Urijah Faber loves the idea of Combat Jiu-Jitsu. He loves the sport. He's actually going to start using Combat Jiu-Jitsu in his promotions as well. You know, that's why he has a team, Team Alpha Male, because Urijah Faber is into it. He loves it. Now, Elias Anderson has been training MMA most of his life, actually, and Elias isn't just a jiu-jitsu player. You know, don't be surprised if you see Elias dishing out some strikes on Urijah.
He's gonna go straight for the kill, though. He's got it. He's gonna get it. He's got the arm.
Arm is extended.
It is done.
Elias Anderson is the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Bantamweight Champion.
Don't miss it. Go to UFC Fight Pass, subscribe now, put EBI in the promo code and get 50% off your first month. Sunday, December 18th, don't miss it. Combat Jiu-Jitsu World, Team Duel.